From the checkout line at the DJC Collectibles Studio, I'm Midwest professional wrestling legend Gage Octane. And now, here's a guy who will never turn down an embroidered Western shirt, Kyle Peterson.
Welcome, everyone. Kyle here for episode number 27 of the Kyle Peterson Show. And as usual, my co-host, the buxom Angie. Angie, say hello.
Hello.
Looking extra
We're very
buxom.
blue. You got your blue figure.
Oh, yeah, the Metaluna Mutants.
Well, you can't see my blue.
I just take it off. Who knows? But Angie, very buxom. That's your nickname this week. The buxom Angie last week. Stealing hearts, of course, last week. But it is episode number 27, Angie, of the Kyle Peterson Show. Angie, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, couldn't be better. There's zero stress in my life. Did you know that? I was just doing the chart, and I said, you know what? I have no stress in my life. A stress-free life. It's amazing. It's amazing.
So what was it? The 8 signs of depression or something? And you were like, 8 stages of depression.
The 8 stages of depression. I was like, I have all 8 of these. What is going on here? And then I looked at the other one. What was it? 20 things that will stress you out. And I said, I have all 20 of these.
Oh, my God. And it's all your own fault, really.
It's all. I bring it all on myself. I just care too much about this world and about you. Yes, you watching out there in the back or listening, depending who you are. But it is episode 27 of the Kyle Peterson Show. And, of course, got to thank our sponsor, DJC Collectibles. Use discount code 8OFFDJC to save 8% off your entire order.
Why wouldn't you?
Got to give a shout out to DJC. I should have another load of stuff. A load of stuff.
You always got a load.
I do. It's very thick and vibrant, as you know.
It's buxom.
But how's it taste? Pretty good. Smooth. Like butter. But a lot of stuff coming from DJC here in the next couple of days. So I'm looking forward to that. I got that G.I. Joe police officer. Oh, sign me up. I got a little juggernaut coming. So check out those reviews on the channel here in the next couple of weeks, of course. And check out the YouTube channel while you're at it. Maybe you're watching it right now, depending if you're watching the video part of this podcast. But make sure you do subscribe, of course, as we always say. And subscribe to my other YouTube channel. And then Angie's YouTube channel. Subscribe to that one. Mm-hmm. She's got a foot fetish YouTube video. It's really weird, but a lot of people seem to enjoy it. So
a lot of pudding.
A lot of cake in between there. But, people like what they like and they don't what they don't. We say it all the time on the channel. But make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channels and check out the Patreon for even more content, bonus content, early access to everything. You guys know the drill by now. Your best way to support Angie and her coffee habit and everything else under the sun. Even a little bit of her booger sugar habit.
Oh, my God.
No booger sugar? No, maybe not. Maybe not. But Angie, this week we were back. We had to travel. We talked about it last week. We were traveling to a grocers convention. Think like San Diego Comic-Con, but grocery. Kinda, not really, I guess. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not. That's more of a food show. This was more of a convention where you sit and listen to speakers and do all that kind of stuff. But Angie was nice enough to tag along for it. She'd never been before. So we went with a coworker of mine, a good old Mike. Shout out to Mike. So we had quite the time, but we got there and we went to dinner, didn't we? It was like a pre-party for the high rollers, I think is what it was. Yeah. So our company is a sponsor of this. So we got to like an hour pre-game where they had free alcohol and appetizers and stuff. So we dived into some of that. Oh, and then we had, for dinner, it was like a fajita bar. Oh, fajitas. Make your own fajitas. And I remember they had a salad dressing there, too, and a salad. And it was like a spicy Caesar. And I wish I would have just got...
what was like a Chipotle?
A Chipotle Caesar or something like that. So spicy, whatever.
I think the Caesar was just made up.
I don't know. But I wish I would have, instead of getting the fajitas, I would have just made a chicken salad with all that.
Yeah, that chicken was really good.
It was good chicken, and the lettuce and dressing was pretty good, where the whole tortilla gimmick there was like not that good. Not that good. But it's kind of big buffet food for a big grocers convention. So we ate that. We did some chit-chatting. I caught up with some people. Saw a good old buddy Terry from once upon a time when I was just a little kid working at the grocery store. He used to call on me. He's like, I can't believe we've known each other for like 30 years. And I said, I can't believe I'm even 30 years old. That's what I told him. But good to catch up on people. And it's amazing how all these people get older, but I just stay the same age. It's such a weird thing. Like I look at it like, man, I remember when you used to have dark hair. I remember when you used to have hair. Mm-hmm. And now they just tell me, boy, I remember when you used to have short hair. That's all I ever hear. Not that you look older, not anything else. And then it's usually, Kyle, boy, I've been watching your YouTube, and your buxom wife is beautiful. I said, well, here she is. And then it's real awkward. It's like, that's usually what happens. But we did a little kissing babies, shaking some hands, ate some dinner and all that. And then we went over to a Top Golf thing, Angie.
Yes.
So Angie got the sticks out, of course. And Angie, you know how to work a stick. I've seen you there before. You know what you're doing. But we went to one of those top golf places. We had our little booth. We did a little golfing. Now, did I golf?
No.
I did not golf because I don't trust my back. My back is just destroyed. The day Terry Funk died, that was the day. If you guys go back on my YouTube channel and you watch my tribute video to Terry Funk on the day of his death, just know that as I was starting that video, as I was turning the camera on, I pulled something in my back, and here we are over 2 years later, just writhing in pain every single day. I said, I'm not swinging a golf club. I can't risk it. So Angie stepped up to be the golfer on their team. And of course, Mike, who worked with me. And then we were with some lottery people from the lottery. Oh, it was wild. And can you give me the numbers? They can't do any of that, though. I checked. Trust me. But we sat there, and Angie, you got some golf swings in. You've never swung a golf club?
I don't ever recall. Obviously, I probably have, but like I have no recollection of it. Only putting.
Yeah, you've went miniature golfing. I know that, but you and I have never went to a driving range or golfing in our life. That just sounds like I don't have time for 7 hours on a golf course. There's just not that much time in the day for me. But Angie was a champ up there. We got some video footage of you playing there, Angie, and you did pretty good. Now, I cut off some of this stuff where you were doing some pretty hardy test swings, I noticed.
Yeah, whiffed a couple.
Yeah, you were just testing, though, because you don't want to hit it. You want to try to get your rhythm down and all that. I knew what you were doing.
I wasn't keeping my eye on the ball.
I knew what you were doing there. But Angie, you're a natural athlete. Let's be honest, right? One of these days, we'll show some pictures of Angie back in high school and college in her basketball uniform. Like a young Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark is what she was. And Angie just working those drills and stuff. And what position did you play in basketball again?
Center, but
you were a center. You were a big one. You
small
were like
town. I would have had to convert to something else.
You were kind of like a young Hakeem Olajuwon, really, is what I thought you were kind of like, or maybe a young Dikembe Mutombo, maybe something like that. But you played center, and then you guys had some good years on your team, didn't you, in high school?
Yep.
Did you guys win the state?
We went to state.
Oh, but you blew it.
We blew it.
You didn't want it bad enough. That's exactly. You just didn't want it. You and the girls. I don't know. And a lot of good girls on that team with you.
Of course.
Let's talk about this. Let's just dive into this. These girls on this team, and any attractive females on that team. Oh, any you know
those like small town homegrown girls. They're always.
So was it big girls?
No, they're always like no.
No.
They're always tall,
lanky. Just looking for fun?
Big chests,
Yeah,
drink a lot of milk.
You got a lot to give. That's my kind of team. So one of these days, maybe we'll dive into that. We'll get your old scrapbook out. We'll take some pictures. You can tell some stories of your years shooting hoops.
It's a thick book.
It's thick as a milkshake. That's what I've heard. So, but Angie, you were swinging the golf club, and you looked fairly like a natural. I was watching you. I was admiring. You had quite the outfit, the skirt on.
I did. I have a little golfing outfit.
Yeah, no underwear though was a choice. That's for sure. That's for sure. Everybody's like, "What's going on over here?" But you said you felt more comfortable that way, so it's good thing we were on the
breeze down there.
Yeah, it was a good thing we were on the bottom bay too, because you're on that top bay. Everybody can look up and see. Yeah. So you were very smart to do that. But I got to say, I think with a little bit of a couple of a lesson or two from my dad come over straight out your string. I bet you could golf better than I could. It wouldn't be hard to do. I guarantee you could. You had a swing, you had a form, it looked like you cared. Where I'm like, I don't care. I don't even want to do this.
Well,
I don't want to be
I'm competitive in that. You're competitive in the mental game. And
I am. Yeah. I am. You're always playing checkers while I'm over here playing chess. You're exactly right. But Angie looked like a star there, and she got a couple of good hits. And there was some kind of Angry Bird one. Was that your fun game you were playing? That was funner.
Yeah.
It was there was a big screen, and it showed an imaginary castle out there, and you'd hit it, and it would break apart and do all that kind of stuff. But you had quite the time there. And then it was the convention was called Get Connected, and you got connected pretty good, I thought, out there. Now
I was hard.
Yeah, you were really connecting hard, and you weren't connecting with me out there, which was really sad.
I got 5 new jobs.
Yeah, she's getting job offers and all kinds of stuff, and
it was the no underwear.
I guess so. That's all it takes sometimes. But Mike and I were ready to go. We're like, okay, Angie, let's go. And then I looked, I said, wait a minute, isn't that this one person? And you said, oh, is it? And then you were like, I'm going to go introduce myself. And then the next thing you know, it was ladies' time. Angie, how many drinks did you have that night? I
didn't have too many, but I haven't drank in so long.
Yeah. It
might even been I don't think I've drank since Christmas.
Wow.
Since I went to my mom's.
Wow. So yeah, you were buzzing pretty good.
I think I only had 2, and they were not even strong.
But you were feeling it pretty good. And, they were giving us free alcohol, and it was Wheatley. So good, Angie, drink it neatly, is what I was told. And I even dialed up my good friend Cody Rhodes, and he didn't answer. And I said, Cody, look, I got the Wheatley vodka. Look at me.
Is that his stuff?
That's his stuff. He drives the Wheatley bus.
Well, I didn't think
Well, he doesn't drive it necessarily, but... But yeah, we had some Wheatley vodka lemonades. That's what we were diving into. And then there was some high noons. It was nooners all over the place. And there was a nice pineapple high noon over there too. But
I didn't try one. I didn't need a third.
no, you were pretty rough and you were feeling it. And then Mike and I are like trying to go and we're like, well, they got this like duck pin bowling there. So we did like one frame of that just to kill time. And then Mike's like, can we go? Because we all drove together and Angie's just chatting. I'm looking through the window.
I almost took the shuttle back. They were like, take the shuttle, girl, stay with us.
Oh, that's what it should have been. And Mike and I almost said, listen, we should have left you, but you would have never came back. She would have never. Angie,
I would have never found the room.
Nope.
I didn't know. I've never been to that hotel before.
No, you didn't know anything. So.
I would have had to sleep with some random person's room.
Can I just sleep here tonight?
Oh
my gosh. But yeah, you were taking forever. And Mike was like, can we just go? And I'm like, well, she's connecting. She's trying to, and she's lining up her jobs and all that kind of stuff. Angie's gonna be the breadwinner before we know it. And I cannot wait. I welcome it. Some guys say, I don't want my wife to make more money than me. I welcome it. Angie,
well,
you've
proven it. You've proven yourself. It's fine.
Yeah, you can take the reins. I need to take a step back in life. I need to. If I'm going to live, if we're going to make the episode 100, things are going to need to change with my stress.
Oh my God,
that's
you're dead before we get to
it. Could happen. It could happen.
Boys, call me.
Yeah, Angie's looking for a new man. Would you want a guy with long hair or short hair? What are you thinking?
I don't care.
You don't care.
It drives Kyle nuts that I have what do I have?
Here we go.
No attraction basis.
Oh, here we go.
So I meet someone and I have to connect to the person that they are.
And every guy that you connect to are just so ugly.
Does it bother you because it opens the window of possibility to it's endless?
I don't know. I guess.
Is that what makes it more
long story short, I don't know what Angie just said because she's playing checkers and I'm playing chess. But Angie does say that she doesn't see looks. She sees personalities. And then immediately I'm like, oh, well, thank you. I don't either. And that's what I told her. I saw this real ugly girl walking the other day. I said, she looks, and she's like, what? And I go, Angie, you know me. I don't see looks. I just see personality. She said hi to me on the walk.
Oh, my God.
So how's that make you feel? But Angie's just willing, and Angie's problem is all these guys, and that's where it's going to be tough when you get back to working here because Angie just thinks the best of everybody. She thinks everybody's so nice, and most people are nice, but are they? Are they? And all these guys, especially in grocery stores and stuff, they're going to be just diving over to talk to you. I know these people. I've dealt with it for 30 plus years, and this guy is so nice. He gave me his number. And he's like, he said I can call him about stuff anytime. Oh, yeah, I'm sure he wants to talk.
Not that night.
I'm sure he wants to talk about fish sticks at 8 o'clock at night on a Tuesday. I'm sure that's what he wants to talk about. So Angie just got to be careful. You got to be careful. I wouldn't give out your number. I wouldn't give your last name out there. Of course, I wouldn't. But the nice thing is my legend looms large in a nice
I get my last name so people know I'm with you.
I guess. I don't want you. And there's so many people. And this really grinds my gears. We're really getting off topic here. This grinds my gears. There's so many people that always go around and they say, oh, do you know Kyle Peterson by chance? And I know. Oh, well, I'm good friends with Kyle. And all of a sudden I have 1,000 best friends out there. I'm like, I can't even tolerate you. Why are you bringing up my name? Then I'll get it from
your name out my mouth.
Yeah, and I'll get it from these people like, I met your good friend Charlie. And I'm like, Charlie who? Oh, it's Charlie Teddergrass. And I'm like, who's this Charlie Teddergrass? Well, he said he knew you. I was like, I don't know that guy.
Am I allowed to throw your name around?
I don't know. It depends what kind of worker you are. We'll see. You get a couple of years under your belt. We'll see.
Don't ruin my reputation.
Yeah. I've worked hard for this reputation, and I can ruin it on my own. I don't need anybody's help ruining my reputation. But people always throw my name out. Oh, Kyle Peterson. And then, you hear it sometimes, oh my gosh, Kyle's going to come here if he finds out. People are scared of me. I just don't get it. I'm not that scary, but I am.
I actually don't name drop you.
Yeah, you should.
Ever.
Yeah, and then people find out, oh my gosh.
And then people find out, and then they're all of a sudden nice to me.
And then they're nervous, and then it's just not the same thing. And you're like, well, you used to be so much chatty with me. Well, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I want to get back to Kyle,
Let's just say when we go into a store that people know us, people come up to me and they're like, hey, girl. And it's really loose and casual. And then they call Kyle, sir.
Sir.
Hi, sir. Hello, sir.
I don't know. It's a weird thing, too.
We're all completely different.
It's a weird thing, too, now in this day and age with my transition over the years from not being in the stores, not being in the salt mines like I used to, more behind a desk and computer and conference calls and stuff, that I don't know as many people out in the stores. I used to know everybody in every I knew hundreds and hundreds of grocery stores. I knew the managers, assistant managers, employees. I knew everybody. Mm-hmm. And now we go to stores, everybody knows Angie, but they don't know me. And I like it. I like to be anonymous. I like that. I'm turning into my dad. And my dad, as we know, refuses to come on the channel anymore, refuses to take Angie's seat for a week. but it's a wild time. But Angie, back to the golf game, I guess the Top Golf thing.
Yes,
so we're there. So finally we get out Angie, and I don't think Angie said, guys, I got to go. I think they said, we better get going. It's getting a little bit late, you know.
They stayed behind.
Yeah, no, they came, didn't they? I don't know. Who knows? But Angie finally left. We finally got her out of there. Had to help her to the car. Thankfully, she was not driving. We did stop at a Walmart. I did get a pack of gummy bears, or gummy worms, if anybody was wondering. And we didn't find any action figures. Saw a lot of terrible swaps. And if you saw my last action figure hunt video, I think Mike was in that video with us. So that's Mike right there. But Angie was pretty liquored up, I would say. And it was weird for 2 drinks, but she hadn't drank in a while. Haven't drank in a while. So
I picked up some Walmart finds too, but I just forgot them in the car, so I didn't have them. I didn't have my snack. I didn't have my morning
just 2 drinks,
energy drink.
2 vodka.
I'm like, I didn't need that.
2 vodka lemonades and Angie's.
If I would have had one more, I might have been dancing on those tables.
Oh, I think you would have been. I think you would have been. I think you're right. But luckily, we got you back to the hotel in time by like 9 o'clock or whatever. And because I had to get up at 6 because the meeting started at 7 a.m. And then you had to go do your stuff at 8 o'clock. So you didn't have too stressful a day. But we got back to the hotel, cleaned up and stuff. And Angie really showed that she had 2 drinks. She really went to town, didn't she, Angie? And we'll save that story for another day, maybe.
That's true.
Let's just save that for another day. Yeah.
Get a little wild.
Angie
No kids, couple drinks.
Oh, Angie's trouble. Watch out for her. Watch out for her. Good old Angie. Good old gal. Good old gal. But yeah, we got up, and I luckily got up and got my hair all did and went off to my way. And that was the convention. Went there all day, listened to some speakers, had all kinds of fun, picked up Angie. Angie was doing some job shadowing is what she was doing. She was learning the ropes on a few things, though, with a good friend, Tom. Of course, Tom, another guy I know very well.
I was very popular at that grocery store.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's exactly right. And Tom.
I wore a cute little dress. Oh, and people, all the managers, even the director was coming over.
One thing I always tell Angie, I said, Angie, you're doing what I started doing like 25 years ago. You're going to start doing this. And believe you me, now I'm a good looking man. I'm a great looking individual. Let me tell you. But what do you think when you have to go talk to like some guy in a meat department, some old butcher that loves to hunt? He loves his NASCAR. He loves his beer. He loves to have a good time. What do you think happens when somebody like Kyle, especially Kyle back then? You know, I had short hair. You know, everybody always said, oh, Kyle, you look like a frat boy. That's what I always heard back then. Oh, he was a frat boy, you know. And what do you think that meat guy? You think he wanted to talk to me? I'd have to wear him down. I'd have to work that. What do you think happens if Angie walks over there in her skirt? You immediately have more opportunities to sell stuff than I ever would have. And so you're just going to knock it out of the park. When that day does come here, sooner, hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll get all winded. And then we got some of that. We went to that really fancy Chinese place for lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Panda, I think it was called. A really fancy place, ritzy. It cost a lot of money, but we did go there. But that was about it. And then we drove home, got the kids, and that was all it. So that's basically story time with Kyle and Angie at the big grocers convention. But Angie, that Panda helps us segue into a deeper dive brought to you by Amped Apparel. Use code Kyle, save yourself 20%. All right, Angie, it's time for a deeper dive. And this week we're doing something a little bit crazy here. We're going to list our top 5 fast food restaurants. Now we're talking fast food, traditional fast food. We're not talking Olive Garden. We're not even talking like Panera. We're talking about fast food restaurants. I think most people know what a fast food restaurant is. Quick out, drive through, that kind of thing.
Panera would have been in my list. That doesn't count?
That's on the bubble, but I guess you could count it if you want to.
I couldn't even come up with 5. I honestly don't.
We'll put that at 5 for you, and we'll start with you. So and what we're going to do is it's our top 5 list. You can put yours in the comments if you'd like to here, but it is our top 5 fast food restaurants. Start at number 5 being, number 5, number 1 being the absolute favorite, and Angie's going to go first. And Angie, you're going to Panera at number 5. What is your go-to meal, or is it at number 5, or does it need to move around?
Ooh.
Don't say what else. We need to flip-flop something.
Why don't we switch up my 2 subbies? Put it in between. So put it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Well, now this is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just keep rolling.
Okay.
So my number 5 is Firehouse Subs.
Okay, Firehouse Subs. So Angie, when you go to the Firehouse Subs, what do you get?
Oh God, I don't even know what they're called. There's like a turkey bacon ranch
hook and ladder.
One. And there's a hook and ladder, so I switch between those 2.
Okay.
Turkey bacon ranch, but then I always get chili.
And
That's the move. That's the move.
And that's your number 5. And conveniently enough, 5 is Firehouse Subs for me as well. So we're both in the same boat. So we can both talk about it here. So Firehouse Subs is one you did not like at the beginning. You did not want to go to at the beginning, but then it won you over.
Yes.
It won you over. And you're going to have another one on your list that I think won you over. Now, Firehouse Subs wasn't my favorite either. Now, if I go to a sub place like a Subway, a Quiznos, a Firehouse, I like a good meatball sub. I'm just like that, of course. Had it at Subway as a kid. Love it all over the place. And Firehouse, for my money, has the best meatball sub anywhere. I love their meatball sub. Very, very good. Now, one gripe I do have with this is every time I go to bite into that meatball sub, their meatballs are too big. They need a smaller meatball. Cut the meatball down in size and give me one more meatball. Even out the meat, because you bite into it, and all of a sudden, every time my whole nose comes with sauce on it when I bite into it, because my mouth's not big enough.
You got a big mouth.
And I got a big mouth, but not big enough for a meatball sub from Firehouse, apparently. But I enjoy it. I don't get the chili there. I don't get anything else. Angie gets all kinds of stuff.
The kids agree with you. You all 3 get the same order. The meatball with the chips and the
Three
drink.
Legends.
Three
Legends. That's right. So and
they're like, meatball for you, ma'am? I'm like, no.
No, I get the hook and ladder and a bowl of chili.
I change it up. I even do a different side.
Yep.
Complicated.
So interestingly enough, Firehouse coming in number 5 for both of us. But now that brings us to number 4. Angie, what is your number 4 favorite fast food place?
Panera.
Oh, yeah.
We flipped them.
Okay. Panera is next. Okay. Panera. Now, what do you get at Panera?
Chipotle chicken avocado melt, broccoli cheese soup.
Yeah. Now, I always get the broccoli cheese soup there when I go there. And I usually just get the soup, or sometimes I'll get the soup in the salad with the Caesar salad. I think that's all I ever get there. I am not a big Panera fan. I feel like it's too expensive for what it is. I feel like I could just go to like a nicer restaurant and get the same thing for the same price most of the time.
Yeah.
But you guys love the soup. They go there for the soup, the broccoli cheese. It's like the reverse Firehouse. They all get the broccoli cheese soup. That's right.
That's
so,
well, you do too.
I do too. So Panera's number 4 at you, which is okay, I guess. But now the real deal for number 4 for me is here. And this is one that had a lot of heartache, disappointment for me this week. Number 4 for me, Long John Silver's. Oh,
can't believe it's this low on the 5.
Love Long John Silver's. It is sad because most people listening to this right now are saying, man, my Long John Silver's all closed down a long time ago. I don't even have an LJS by me. And that's sad. That is sad. Now, I go back to being a little kid. Growing up, there was McDonald's, Burger King, a Taco John's, if you know what that is, a Long John Silver's, and a Pizza Hut. That was basically all the choices for fast food restaurants for me as a kid. And I loved LJS. My dad, we'd go there every once in a while. And then my grandparents always loved LJS. So we go there a lot. So a lot of good memories. I love their chicken planks. I love the fish. I love the shrimp there. Get me all that. I usually get that big meal, that big combo meal. I got to get 2 hush puppies.
You don't mess around.
I get 2 hush puppies. I get the fish. I get the chicken. I get the shrimp.
Yep.
And of course, I get the coleslaw. Of course, that and KFC neck and neck for the best coleslaw in the game, if you ask me. And one thing that does hurt my heart a little bit is their French fries. My grandma, I remember as a little kid, my grandma said, oh, Kyle, LJS has the best French fries. Better than McDonald's, better than Burger King. She loved those. And now I think they got like waffle fries at LJS, which is absolutely ridiculous. Keep that to Chick-fil-A. Nobody else wants waffle fries. I don't like that, but I don't get the fries there. So it is what it is. But my grandma, if she was passed away, she'd be doing gator rolls in her grave. But thankfully, I'm not going to tell her about this
R.I.P. to the corn on the cob, too.
Oh. They used to have corn on the cob, and Elle, especially when she was little, she loved it. And then one day we went there, no longer serving corn on the cob. And I remember doing a post where Elle was just about in tears. She was so sad. That lady broke her heart.
Remember, she took a picture by the sign where it said,
yep, she broke her heart.
Unavailable.
Yep. Elle was sad. I mean, she was like 4 years old, but that was a heartbreaker.
Really, it was a heartbreaker for you because that stopped our family going there.
It really did. I used to be able to say, Elle, let's go to LJS. Oh my gosh, corn on the cob. I'll get 2 corn on the cobs. And it was cheap. It was like $3 for her to eat. So that was great. But now we never get to go there except this week. I said, let's go. And Angie finally caved in. She said, yeah, all right, Angie. Every once in a while, I'll chime in.
I like it, but I always get such a stomach ache from it. It's so greasy or something.
Yeah, it's just have to talk you into it. You're easy to talk into things. I can be very persuasive, and Angie will give it up at a moment's notice. And she did. She went to LJS, and we went there, and we got inside, and we saw the line, and we saw the crew that was working behind the counter, and we said, this isn't going to end well. So we ended up doing the walk out, walk in, walk out. We didn't even ring the bell either. No bell ringing on that one. Walked in, walked out. It was very. I was like,
probably because we went in and out the entrance.
Yeah, I guess.
But there was no exit bell.
It was sad. But I remember saying, man, so close, but so far to getting that at Long John Silver's. So that was pretty disappointing for me, all in all. But that's what I get. What do you get there at Long John Silver's?
I think I get the fish and chicken one.
And
but yeah, very similar.
Our Long John's by our house has /AEW. So a lot of times the kids or you will get some like AEW stuff. You get like a Frosty or something like a, what is it called? Like a root beer float.
Oh, yeah. Every once in a while, maybe I'll get like
something
a
like that.
chili cheese dog or whatever they're called.
Yeah. So now we're at number 3 and we both share the same number 3 here.
We do?
Yeah. Boy, it's like we're married. Who knows? Jersey Mike's.
And this is a new one for me, Jersey Mike's.
Angie refused to go to Jersey Mike's for the longest time.
Well, I got one hot sub and I didn't like it. Like it was extremely salty. It was like a chicken one. And so then I never really tried anything else. But now I'm a club girl. Now I'm a club sub.
Oh, yeah. You love club.
With the pepper relish.
You were in the club.
Smeared.
You were in the club magazine one time, weren't you? I think so. A club magazine. I think you were in there back in the day. Maybe not. But Angie loves the Jersey Mike's now, and I don't have to twist her arm too hard. We just went there the other day, and in a plot twist, I had a terrible experience at Jersey Mike's. And I've been known to blacklist a restaurant. I've done it. There's a lot of people, managers of grocery stores, still come to me to this day. Kyle, what's currently on the blacklist, the do not go to list? And I almost would say Jersey Mike's right now. I'm going to give them one more chance.
Oh my God.
But I had the worst sub ever. Terrible distribution. And then the onion was like so thinly sliced, it almost looked like hair. It looked like hair, and they threw it in there.
So much of it.
And there was so much of it. I like onion, I don't mind it, but all I tasted was onion, and it was stringy onion, and it was just wild. It's like...
And all your cheese melted out.
All my cheese melted out, and they didn't start with enough cheese, and it wasn't even melted either. I mean, it was just a rough experience for me. I was very heartbroken.
Mine was...
Yes, and I hate it because it's so expensive, and I hate spending all that money to not be satisfied. I always want to be satisfied, like a young Judas Priest, never satisfied. Maybe you could say.
And you got to get I get the rosemary parm bread. You got to do the rosemary parm.
I like the white bread. I like the white over there. Okay, but yeah, it was
you haven't
disappointing.
tried it, so you don't know.
I guess.
But you do get a weird one. Yours would be weird because you get like the cheesesteak kind of one.
Yeah, I get the cheesesteak. I forgot to mention, I get the big kahuna. I probably should have said that.
No mushrooms.
Yeah, no mushrooms.
Get those out of here.
I like mushrooms, but I don't like them in my like Chinese or stir fry, and I don't like them on my sandwiches. I don't know. I'm weird about mushrooms, but I like them. Give me a deep fried mushroom. Give me some of those morel mushrooms. Give me some mushrooms. Who knows? I'll give you the mushroom later if you're lucky.
Just a tip.
That's all. That's all you're gonna get. Well, Angie, we're down to number 2 here. So what is your number 2 selection?
Cane's.
Raising Cane's.
I can't even read your handwriting.
I can't either. But Raising Cane's is number 2 for you. Angie, what is your go-to at Raising Cane's?
I don't think is there a variation of food there that you can get?
You can get a sandwich.
I get the 3-finger, and I always feel perverted saying it. I'm like, I'll take a 3-finger.
You can easily take 3. You can take a fist, is what I've been told over there. But
especially since I'm always on like some teenage boy taking the order, and I'm like, yeah, give me the 3-finger, buddy.
Oh, and I remember the first time I ever had Raising Cane's. I was on a business trip in Kansas City. It wasn't far from the hotel. And Mike, we talked about him earlier. I said, let's go to this place. We both like chicken. Mm-hmm. So we went over there, and it was just absolutely amazing. Now, good friend of the channel, Jeff George, will tell you about his first time experience in Omaha, Nebraska during the heart of COVID, driving from California back home to Detroit.
Oh, that's the only time he's ever had it?
Yeah, and he got terrible food sickness and actually ended up at a hotel not too far from my house. Too bad I didn't know him at the time, or probably good I didn't know him at the time, because he was sick there with food poisoning for like 3 weeks, and like the hotel people had to take care of him.
So yeah, how do you coerce them to help him?
And then he sent him flowers.
Only Jeff George could do.
One day Jeff will be here, and we'll make him tell.
Guys, can you hold my hair back?
We'll make him tell that story on the channel. But I used to love Raising Cane's. I remember eating. I said, "Oh my gosh, Angie and the kids are gonna love this place," and I was not wrong. You guys absolutely loved it. Mm-hmm. They loved it so much I can never go there again, and I'd be a happy guy. I can't even eat it. It's the last thing I want to eat. They literally built one around the corner from our house here. I could literally walk through the field in our backyard and kind of kitty corner, cross the interstate, of course, and there it is right there. We could literally walk to it in 5 minutes. And it's the worst thing that's ever happened in my life. That tells you.
Elle's really leaning towards you. I think she's getting sick of it.
Yeah, we're all
Emma could eat it like every day.
Oh, it's just too much. It's just, I don't, if I had it every once in a while, it's okay, but it's like, there's no flavor.
We ruin it, I admit it. And we ruin it.
And there's no flavor. It's just like plain chicken, and then you get this sauce, but it's like, I need more flavor. I wish they had like Nashville chicken or different kind of things going, or a spiciness to it or something.
Different
it's just
dips
plain.
or something.
So I don't know. It's just totally ruined for me. So I don't know. It was good for a while. I'll eat it if I have to, but I prefer not to. And unfortunately, I eat it way too much more than I would like to. But number 2 for me, Angie, is a deep cut. Now, you've been here. I would say 99.9% of the people watching this and listening to this have never heard of it or never been there. It is a place called Tico. Now, it is a chain restaurant. It's like a Taco Bell, like a Taco John's, but 100 times better.
Old school. Like
old school. And Angie's been there because there was one in Webster.
There's one in Fort Dodge.
Yeah. There's a few places.
I guarantee I've been to more Taco Tico than you.
Maybe.
In my life.
I used to go a lot with my grandma. That's how I had it. But it is like a Taco Bell type place, but a little better quality and a lot cheaper. It is still cheap to this day. You can get like soft tacos, hard tacos for 99 cents. I swear by the Sancho, which is like a deluxe taco kind of thing. No tomato in there for me. Get that out. But that's only like $2. You can eat a pretty hefty meal for like $10 and you can be stuffed for a couple of days. It's crazy. But there's not very many left. I think they're in Kansas still. They're in Iowa, maybe like Wyoming or something, but they're pretty much on their deathbed. So most people haven't had them. When I go to the Twin Cities for work, for business, I always stop off in Mason City as a town, and they have one there. So it's like kind of halfway between the cities. So I will stop there and I will always eat lunch there. So I still get it maybe 4 or 5 times a year. So hopefully it holds on. Hopefully they build more, but I think it's one of those things that is going away, unfortunately. So
like
Taco Tico.
Like the Snack Village in my hometown.
Snack
R.I.P.
Village.
that.
Oh, hard times. Snack Village. Oh, yeah. You put that on the list. Everybody know. But now we're down to number 1 for both of us. We both have different picks here for number 1. And number 1 is a lot like number 2 for me to you, Angie. What is your number 1 selection?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Oh my gosh. Once again, for me, Chick-fil-A, I absolutely loved. I first had it in Cincinnati, Ohio in like 1997 at the starting lineup convention. Never forget, my dad and I had never even heard of this place. It was in like the basement of the mall by our hotel or something. And we went there and we could not believe it. We ended up eating it for lunch and dinner for 3 days in a row. That's how blown away we were by this Chick-fil-A place. And then fast forward 6-7 years, I go to college, and what do you know? They have one at my college. And I had a lot at the college, so I had it pretty regularly. And then now they're all over the place in our area, and the kids, you absolutely love it. I go back and forth between chicken sandwich and just the traditional chicken nuggets. What do you get? Here we go. Listen to this.
I get the nuggets, and then I get a kale crunch salad, not fries. And then I get buffalo, and then I make a little salad.
Yes, she's very fancy. Very fancy. Now, unfortunately for me, you and the kids have also ruined Chick-fil-A for me. It's either if it's Chick-fil-A or Raising Cane's. That's the only place they ever want to go to eat. There's no other way. There's no mixing in a Popeyes. There's none of that kind of stuff. There's no mixing anything else in. So I could literally never go to Chick-fil-A again, and I'd be okay with my life. And it's very unfortunate.
Kids don't really like ground beef. They always go for the chicken.
I always
reach at a certain age and then they'll eat hamburger.
I prefer chicken. I always preferred chicken, but I still need something. I just can't eat Chick-fil-A and Raising Cane's all the time. But what I can eat, Angie, at number 1 is the greatest chicken restaurant of all time. One of the greatest Americans of all time started this once upon a time. His name Harlan Sanders, of course, from Kentucky. True Kentucky gentleman. We're going number 1. We're going to KFC. Oh, baby. KFC, give me the mashed potatoes and gravy. Give me the coleslaw. And get me the 2-piece breast and wing combo. And you got your way right into my heart. I love KFC. Going back to when I was a little kid. And as a little kid, they used to have KFC buffets once upon a time. I could eat KFC every single day. Unfortunately, I don't because nobody else likes it. I mean, you guys like it. You'll tolerate it once in a while. But it's not high on their selection.
Yeah.
Not even in your top 5.
No.
Not even close. In your top 10, maybe?
I like it, though.
Yeah, every once in a while. It's good. I love it. I'm an original guy. And now you,
but again, tummy ache. No, I don't do extra crispy anymore because you told me it's like more calories.
Yeah, I
thought they just cooked the same thing longer.
No. Yeah, she thought the extra crispy was like just the same healthy. I'm like, no.
He's like, there's 2 breadings. I'm like, what?
I've never been an extra crispy guy. I tried it once.
It makes me sick. That again, tummy troubles like the LJS.
Yeah. I'll welcome those tummy troubles. I love KFC. I'm sad. And it's crazy too, is like they have a lot of deals on their apps and stuff. We've taken advantage of that lately too. They've had some wild stuff, like get a free bucket of chicken, buy a dinner or something. Yeah. So some of these apps, that's what I tell Angie all the time. We need to get all these apps so we can get all these deals, because there's a lot of deals for these restaurants.
How big bag can we be though? We got to get out of the restaurants.
Yeah,
back
exactly.
in the grocery stores.
Yeah, so we had a good Costco chili the other night. Oh, Angie, all in on the chili here, of course. But yeah, I don't know. That's our top 5s. But KFC all day. You guys want to win me over? Man, take me to KFC for lunch.
You said wing me over.
Yeah, wing me over. I'll get that
a little
too.
Fun.
Yeah, sign me up. But that is our top 5 fast food restaurants. Put your list in the comments down below.
God.
But Angie, it's time for you really to shine. It's time to try new foods, because they might taste good.
We can try a little bit of this and a little bit of that. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. We gotta try new food because they might taste good.
All right, Angie, it's time for you to shine. It's time to try new foods because they might taste good. And I don't know if you could top last week with those oatmeal cream pies. You love a cream pie.
Did you eat them all?
I ate them all, I think. Yeah, I think I did. I'll eat all those.
It's weird that we're like full right now. Because usually we're like starving filming this, so now I'm like not even excited.
We need to buy some more of those cream pies, and we know you love it. Cream pie is one of your favorite things to do, I believe. But Angie, what do we got this week? We got 2 things to try.
We got 2 new chips, both Lay's, loaded nacho, and cheesy buffalo dip.
So these are called Game Day, correct?
Yeah, one of them's a kettle, and one of them is a wavy.
Loaded, flavored with other natural flavors, limited time flavor. Of course, part of NFL kickoff here is what we're going on to. Looking interesting. 150 calories, 11 chips, no artificial flavors. Wavy loaded nachos. And this
Not
one,
a long shelf life though. They're already out in a month.
Oh, these are December.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. So
No,
these
no,
last
it's October 21st.
12/28. Oh, up top. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we're running out of time. We're running out of runway. So, cheesy buffalo dip. Let's try it first. See what we're going on.
I'm always like afraid it's gonna make me.
I'm
gag
not a huge
smell.
chip guy. Nothing makes you gag except being boozled.
It just smells like a barbecue chip.
Yeah, kind of. I'm not a big fan of just traditional Lay's. They're too thin and too greasy for me.
Well, you'll like these. These are kettle, and then those.
Oh,
are
I like
wavy.
kettle.
Yeah.
So they're very orange, obviously, just full of buffalo flavor. I smell the
I
buffalo.
don't get like a spicy kick though. Like it's
I
not
get a
like,
little bit.
It's not getting my nose going.
I get a little bit of buffalo there. Let's try it.
Okay. Well, I got 2.
Those are so bad, I need to try one more. They're not overly seasoned. Very hard kettle chip.
They're like a spicy cheesy. I don't know if I get like
I don't
buffalo.
think if somebody handed me this and said, "What is this?" I don't know if I could guess buffalo.
I mean, you get cheesy.
I get a little bit of buffalo on the back end.
Like I get a kick, but I don't know if I would like be like, "Oh, that's buffalo."
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd get those again. Maybe they'd be good in a dip. It shows a dip on the front. Maybe it'd be good to dip something into. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna go out of 5?
I'll give them a 3.
All right, I'm going to go 2 out of 5 on those. I mean, they're edible, just not knocking my socks off. But once again, limited edition, so that makes sense. Now, loaded nachos.
I'm melon.
I don't know what I smell on that. Nothing weird.
Ooh, salsa. It does give salsa.
It is loaded, and it is ribbed.
We always forget to open from the bottom of the bag.
Oh, yeah, that's Angie's tip.
That's a little industry tip.
All right, let's do it.
Is the other one overpowering the flavor in our mouth?
It's got flavor.
But like it just kind of tastes like salsa almost.
Kind of. I like the hard kettle chip better, I think. But I think I like the flavor better on these. No. This another one would be good with a dip of some kind, I think.
But it's such a weird chip to like do like a Mexican, you know what I mean? Like you would use a tortilla. So that's the weird part about it. Like what would you dip this in? I want to eat with salsa.
No. Yeah, I don't know. What do you rate that 1 out of 5?
2.5, I guess. It doesn't have a lot of flavor.
That's where I'm going. I'm going 2.5 on that one. So
I mean, if you're going to get one, get the cheesy buffalo.
Yeah, I don't know. Both of them are okay. I wouldn't get either of those ever again. But I like to try new stuff. And as we always know, we always talk about here on the channel, new foods, new items make the world go round. So, but we also know if you take one thing away from this YouTube podcast, whatever, you got to take away that 90% of new items fail. Take that to heart and take that to you. So that's all.
So don't fall in love with anything.
Yeah.
We
so Hopefully you guys learned something. I hope you learned something. But there it is, Angie. Let's try new foods because they might taste good. But now we got a double dose of album and figure of the week. All right, Angie, it's time for album of the week / figure of the week this week. They're combined. They're not a separate segment. We're putting them here together. And what do we got extra special going on here today, Angie? We got a figure. I'll let you hold that.
Okay.
And then we got an album as in a box set. It is our friends over there at Night Demon. You guys know me. I wear my love for Night Demon on my sleeves. So I was very excited to announce the official announcement I don't know, about 6 months ago, finally in our hands now. It is the Curse of the Damned box set, their first album in box set form here. And with that comes a brand new action figure, the first of hopefully many. Eugene, of course, from the first album, cover right here. The axe-wielding maniac, you could say. Now, this action figure, extremely limited, still available over there at jaystoysandgames.com. Use code Kyle, save yourself 15%. Pick that one up. This one, you got to go to Night Demon's website. Very limited edition. They only made 1,000 of these, so I'm very fortunate I got one. I got number 866 here. But very cool reaction style figure, the first of many. Night Demon is an interesting band. They have a weekly podcast, much like this one here. Every single week, they deep dive into the band. They give you all the blood and guts of what it takes to be a real metal band, working, touring the world, doing different things. They have a lot of stuff going on at all times. So Night Demon is definitely true road warriors, true heavy metal lifers out there, much like myself, of course, Angie, as we do know. But I love the action figure, obviously. So to tie that into one of my absolute favorite bands. Now, this album has its 10-year anniversary, and it's crazy. It was in like February of 2015 this album came out. Now, at that time, I was going to tons of heavy metal shows all the time. On my work trips, I would go to shows. I would go to shows in town. And I was very fortunate, Angie, was not there. I was fortunate you weren't there, but
that was kind of like the end of my era. That was right when Emma was born, and I was kind of like out.
Yep, she was out of the shows, but a young little upcomer decided to start up and take over the mantle for her mom, and it was my daughter, Elle. So at 5 years old, Elle started to go to heavy metal concerts with me. And the lucky thing, there was a little venue in town here that had all the bands I loved, and bands like Night Demon, stuff like that. And I remember going to Power Trip and Metal Church and Testament, all this stuff, all ages shows. And little 5-year-old Elle sitting there with her headphones on, just rocking out, living the life, screaming and yelling. Unfortunately, she wouldn't be caught dead. She only goes to K-pop shows now. But we had a lot of fun those years, and I'll never forget going and seeing Night Demon. But in a plot twist, I had no idea who Night Demon was. I had heard the name, didn't know the music, didn't know anything. I was going there for a band called Elm Street out of Australia. Really enjoy their stuff, an Australian band. They don't get to the United States very often, so I had to go see that. And opening up for them was Night Demon. I'm like, I'm going to check this band out, see what it is. And it's one of those moments I was absolutely blown away. And I've only had that twice in my life where I didn't know an opening band, and I became a lifelong fan of that band after seeing them in concert, just being absolutely blown away. I remember that night going and buying all the merch they had, bought this album. And the album came out officially 2 days after this, and I think they were selling it early at their merch booth. So I picked that up. I was just bowled over, and after that, I've seen Night Demon 20 plus times over the years ever since then.
It's like the night you met me.
Very similar. Not as messy, though. Not as messy, but a lot of fun as well. But I'll never forget, them just blowing everybody else away. I was just blown away by them. The other time that happened to me was the band called The Darkness. I love The Darkness to this day and age. Saw them in Milwaukee, one of their first ever United States shows. The band opening up for them was the band called The Wild Hearts. And if you've never checked out The Wild Hearts, you're missing out. But they blew me away, made me a huge fan after that night as well. But Night Demon, ever since that night, I have been a huge fan. I love to see the growth of the band. I love to see them come out with new music, new albums, new tours, new tie-ins, new partnerships. It is just a lot of fun. And then their weekly podcast, which is usually under an hour. It's a quick listen, but it keeps you going with your band. And when you love something a lot, it just keeps you more connected, I feel like there. So very, very cool. Now, this box set has a lot going on in here. It's got the original album. It's got the 10th anniversary remix and all of it on LP and CD in this box. CD3 is the Run for Your Life sessions, 9 unreleased tracks. There is a cassette tape in here with 22 unreleased tracks. There's 4 different posters in here. There's a DVD. There's a download card. with videos and all kinds of stuff. Their comic book they had around this time, and the original tour program. So there is a ton of stuff inside this
Can you
box
imagine
set.
if they had a K-pop of something like
Oh
this?
my
The kids
gosh.
would lose their minds.
Yeah, the thing is, this is more reasonably priced. Where the kids' K-pop album would be $500.
Oh my god.
But definitely worth checking out. I know a lot of people have found out about Night Demon through the channel, and I should mention once again on my YouTube channel, Night Demon nice enough to make the theme song. Now everybody says, "What album is that on?" They legit made that for me. I reached out to them and I said, "Hey, I got an idea. You don't have to say yes to this, but could you find time to record an intro for my YouTube channel? And I'll promote you on there, put your name up there. They'll know music by Night Demon and stuff." And they love the idea of that. And it's became a nice friendship with the band as well. And I definitely appreciate them. And, talking to Jarvis, lead singer, he's like, "Hey, we're going to have to update that theme song one of these days." So who knows? Maybe the next couple of years, we'll get a new Night Demon theme song. You never know what might happen there. So there it is, Angie. Curse of the Damned, available at nightdemonofcourse.net, I believe is the website. And the new figure here, Eugene, pick that one up. Support the boys. jaystoysandgames.com. Use code Kyle. Save yourself 15%. So there it is. Album of the week, figure of the week, all in one this week.
How do you keep all those percentages straight?
It's just, it's what I do.
It's
just what I do.
a numbers guy.
I'm just a numbers guy without being a numbers guy. It's amazing how that works.
Oh my
But
God.
Angie, now it's time for a little story time with Kyle. All right, Angie, it's time for story time with Kyle, and we're going to take it back to the 90s.
My sleepy time.
Oh, stop it. You remember the 90s? You were just being born. You were just being born back then. But
And I'm still just a baby.
still just a baby. Put that baby to bed and burp her before she goes. But Angie, we're going back to story time with Kyle. We're going back to high school. And I was at a pretty large high school once upon a time. And I don't know if Angie's ever heard this story. So you might learn something just like everybody else. But we're going to story time with Kyle. And we're going back to my high school radio days. Now, my high school actually had a radio station inside of it. And you actually could take radio class. And you can imagine young Kyle once upon a time saying, "Okay,
I was born for this."
No, I said, "What classes can I take?" And I said, "Okay, I can take up to 3 study halls." Check. Taking 3 study halls. Okay, got to have PE in there as well. So I got that going on. You have to take math. You have to take history. You have to take science. What do I want to take? Science or sewing or home ec or maybe radio? And I said, "You know what? I think radio will be a good fit for me. I like to listen to music. How bad could it be? I'll play whatever I want. I'll do all that kind of stuff." Signed up for Radio 1, and I think I took Radio 2 as well. There was 2 different ones of radio. Took both those classes in high school. Now, not everybody has a radio station in their high school, and the radio teacher actually worked for one of the biggest, actually the biggest radio station in the state, and he kind of had a name, but on the, during the day, he was a radio teacher, taught radio, and then he worked for the radio station, I guess at night and weekends, and then it was like their play director. I don't know. He was a big name, apparently. He wasn't the biggest name to me, but he was apparently in the radio stuff. But we had radio class, and he would teach the radio, hitting your marks, talking up on things and stuff. And a lot of people always say, "Kyle, how do you have that natural flow?" And some people say, "Kyle, you never stop to take a breath. You're constantly talking, constantly talking." And I said, and I'm telling everybody now officially here, that's where I got that from, because he beat into our heads that silence makes people change the channel. If you were silent for 2 seconds, think of you listening to the radio, thinking you listening to a podcast like this one. Now, I listen to a few podcasts. Now, one I listen to is the Jeff Jarrett podcast, My World with Jeff Jarrett. I love Jeff Jarrett. I love Double J, but he is brutal on podcasts. And one thing is Conrad will ask him a question and there'll be a long pause. And I immediately think that long pause, did my phone turn off? Has something happened? What's going on? And then he'll pop in with something. He doesn't fill that time, and the silence is there. And that's where people change their radio station in their car. They hear that silence, something's wrong, going to the next station, going to the next. So he beat into our head. And when I say beat, he would hit us and slap us. Dead air is just the end of the road. Your radio show is over, your viewers, your ratings, everything drops. And he beat that into me so much. When I started doing YouTube, it was the same thing. "Kyle, don't stop. You got to have every minute, every second full." But it feels weird if you just sit here.
And you can't breathe out your nose, so I don't really don't know how you do it.
Yeah, it's amazing. But it's weird when you have an awkward pause.
Deviated septum.
It's a weird when you have and I think I got busted up nose from playing basketball against my dad because he always played prison rules. And he would always hit me with those extra sharp elbows he'd have. Just cut me open. It was a hard time being little Kyle, let me tell you. But dead air was a huge thing that he beat into us. And still to this day, I'm like, oh, you can't stop. You can't. You got to keep going. Don't sit there and just let it marinate. You got to keep talking. But he would do that all the time. And, we'd have radio class and he'd teach us. And then every day in class, a different twosome would take over. Now, radio has probably changed a lot. But when I was doing it, there was like the cartridges you'd have to put on. You'd load the cartridge in, you turn the buttons, all this stuff. As that song's ending, you'd have the other one in the other cartridge. You'd have it loaded, and then you'd hit the mark. Right as that one's fading out, you'd fade to it, or you'd fade to yourself on the radio. You'd be like, hey, Kyle coming in at 88.7. Kyle here. Oh, third hour chemistry. I got some chemistry with old Angie over here. You just go on and on from that. So you get your little rap, your little shit going on down there, and it was what it was. But I'll never forget, we'd always have to listen to people. If I wasn't going, everybody else in the classroom, you're listening to the radio, you're using kind of as a study hall, or maybe you'd have like a little test or you'd have to research, but they'd always have the radio playing. And he always sat at the end of the, you'd have all the desks out there and he'd sit at the desk up here and just kind of this on-air thing. It was like the radio and it'd be playing out and everybody be listening to the radio, and we'll get into the songs and stuff shortly. But I'll never forget whenever there was dead air or somebody messed up on the cartridge switch or forgot to turn the volume off. For whatever reason, you'd get dead air. Kids are learning here. He would always do, and I forgot to mention, he looked just like Billy Joel. He looked like Billy Joel. So imagine Billy Joel. He's not going to start the fire. And he had the receding hairline. It looked like Billy Joel is what he looked like. It was Mr. C was his name. And the radio would stop and there'd be dead air and he'd do one of these. He'd shrug, you go. Knocking things over. He'd shrug his shoulders up and he'd put his arms out and he'd go, what? And he'd just look at the radio. And then he'd look at everybody there and like, are you hearing this? Are you hearing this? He'd look back to the radio. And then if it went on any longer, he would get up in a whole fur and he'd like move the desk out and you'd hear it move and his chair would get knocked over and he'd go sprinting out there. And, he'd go take control and fix whatever was wrong for everybody. But it was funny how hardcore he took high school radio. Like how many people were listening? I don't know. Maybe parents were listening, but people were. And
so it was going live somewhere?
Yeah, it was live. It was live radio. It was an alternative rock station is what it was. And I think it still goes to this day, if I'm not mistaken, but it was an alternative rock. So at the time frame of when all this was going down, there was a lot of Limp Bizkit. There was a lot of Korn. Remember the song Len, Steal My Sunshine? That one played all the time. There was that one Vitamin C song.
Oh, God. Graduation
song all the time.
Wasn't that your graduation song?
Oh, God. And then there was Fastball, if anyone remembers The Way and all those Fastball songs. And I enjoyed Fastball, actually. But it was a lot of that kind of stuff. Now, at that time, I obviously loved my heavy metal, my Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden. We weren't playing any of that, let me tell you that. And then I did like the Beatles and classic artists, Bob Dylan, Eric Clapton. We didn't get to play any of that stuff. So I wasn't too happy having to, Freak on a Leash again. Oh, great. I'm so lucky. Korn. It was Korn. It was always the same stuff. Same stuff, different order. And it would go for like 2 months at a time, the same old songs. Then they'd finally get something new in the mix. But I remember when you were doing your radio, you could choose one song on your own. The last song of your thing, you could do your own thing. And the only two things that I had on there that I could use was there was a new Kula Shaker. If anybody knows Kula Shaker, a pretty deep cut still to this day. But I love Kula Shaker still. And they actually had like Hey Dude was the song. Or no, it was Hush. It was Hush from, I think, I Know What You Did Last Summer movie, I think is what it was. So they had that. And that was a cover of a Deep Purple song, which was a cover of something else. But I would always put that in the mix. And they also had Rancid. And I'm trying to think what song it was. I cannot for the life of me remember what Rancid song, but they had one Rancid song. I think it was Time Bomb, I think is what it was. It was Time Bomb, that's right. So it was Time Bomb and Hush from Kula Shaker, Rancid. I would always mix those two in at the very end. I was the only one that would do that, but I'd always play those two. But it was always the same stuff over and over and over. And I remember hating radio, but liking it at the same time. I liked the idea of it, but I didn't like the pressure of the cartridge changes and turning the mix up and over and back and forth and then hitting the post and all that kind of stuff. It's just too much for me. And nowadays it's all digital. It's all done totally different. It's a whole different world these days and age. What I want is I want a producer that does everything, does all the work for me. Just let me talk. Just say, Kyle, go, and I'll do that. That's all I want.
I'll be behind the scenes.
Yeah, you can tune in Tokyo and turn all the knobs and slob a knob or two along the way as well. But that is a little story time with Kyle, a little bit of radio, but I'll never forget. I still got it burned in. He always wore sweater vests too. And he'd always have that. And he goes, what? And you just look at that radio like, oh my gosh.
What grade did you get?
I think I got like a C or a B in there.
Wow.
I think so. I don't know.
That's
I don't
horrible.
know. I was pretty much C's and B's every once in a while. No A's over here. No D's and F's over here either. I was just trying to get through.
That was me too. I was just mid.
And my thing with school too is I had to work. My dad, the day I turned 14, Kyle, there's the grocery store. You got to go work. So I had to go to school. I'd be there at like 7:15 every morning. I'd get out at 3:15 or whatever it was. I'd have to hustle home, either walk or ride my bike or ride the bus or drive myself. I'd have to go all the way home, and I'd have to get my dress shirt on, my tie on, my fancy outfit. I'd have to go work at the grocery store, and I'd always have to start working at 4 o'clock. I'm getting all worked up. I'm getting fired up.
And you were living in the big city.
I was living in the big city, so it was just... So I'd get home for like 3:30, throw my clothes on, go, and then I work from 4 to 7, and then once I was 16, 4 to 10. So then you're working all night. And then I'd get home, I'd like shower, I'd have to do my homework, and then I'd have to get up and do it all over again. It was a terrible life for me in high school. I just hated it. Work. Ugh.
Unlike me, my elementary and middle school were like in the same place. And all I had to do was walk through my backyard and like across the street. It took me like 1 minute.
You didn't have parents forcing you to work and doing all that stuff. And
I played sport. Like I was in sports all year round.
I was in baseball, so I had that too. But I had to work Saturdays and Sundays. Oh, it was just...
Softball was the only thing I didn't do. But I went to camps, basketball camps also.
Oh, yeah. Dodgeball, too, I'm sure. You're good at dodging the balls every once in a while, I've noticed. But there it is. That's high school radio for me. That's story time with Kyle. But, Angie, it's time for a few final thoughts. All right, Angie, time for a few final thoughts. We got a couple of questions this week to dive into here. You ready?
I have a couple questions.
I got a couple of questions for you as well. But Angie, we got a first one from longtime viewer, good friend of the channel, David Banos. He has emailed a couple of ideas. And he's got a show idea for us here, Angie. So
I love it.
Let's see your thought here.
We need all the help we can get.
So an idea for an Angie segment should be Angie's advice on. Which we already have one open the bag of chips from the bottom, which is funny she mentioned that here. She forgot to do it. And with that name, you could basically cover any topic. So Angie's advice on. What do you think, Angie? Do you think you got enough advice to give everybody?
Yeah, probably.
Do you think you have some? Do you have something right now off the top of your head?
I got a lot of food advice.
Okay,
I got a lot of intimate advice.
About that.
A lot of lady advice.
So
I don't know if your viewers are interested.
They're not interested in that. I don't know. So if you had to give us one advice tip right now off the top of your head, what would be an advice tip?
Oh God, I have no idea.
Just something, just daily advice, something you do. Like, I always get in through the left drive up lane at Starbucks instead of the right because the right is slower or something like that.
Oh my God, I have no idea. I got to think on it.
Like, I always park in this position because in the store.
Well, you should always back your car in. You should always pull through.
Angie's advice, always pull through, and that's time tested. Of course, easier to drive out than back in. That's where most accidents happen, so you always pull through. So I've been through Smith System training. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but learn that there. You always pull through. You always back into your parking spot. A lot of people say, oh, look at that guy backing up, but it's safer to back up than back out with traffic and stuff. So it's a wild thing, but we have to do that for work at my place. So you don't necessarily have to. But Angie, maybe you can work on that segment in the future. We can have Angie's advice.
Okay.
Or maybe people can put a question in the comments below or email the KylePetersonShow@gmail.com and say, here, I want Angie's advice on this. She could be like a young Ann Landers and real young because didn't she die long? I don't know what her story is, But now, Angie, it's time for another question. We'll let that sink in and Angie's advice. If you want some advice from Angie about something, you can ask in the questions or whatever. So, Angie, you want to read this one right here?
What does that say? Why am I losing my sight in my old age? Timothy Linscott 1. Angie and Kyle. Kyle has shown a few pictures of himself back in the day and noted he used to weigh around 265 pounds and was pretty jacked up. Did you ever think about pursuing pro wrestling? Why or why not? What would his gimmick have been? Would Angie have been a valet? And what would her gimmick have been? Thanks.
So, Angie, you remember back in the day when I was like 265?
Yeah.
Those were
I know.
days.
Like, I hate, you're starting to get smaller than me.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I'm shrinking down. I'm
like
shrinking. My old age, I'm shrinking down. But that was back when I had a lot more free time and I was really drinking. I mean, I was drinking in the protein shakes like a madman. You know, I'd take Weight Gainer.
We were almost 100 pounds apart at one point.
Yeah, I was.
Now we're like, what, like 30?
I think I'm 30 pounds less than you at this point. Who knows? No. But I used to work out really, really hard, and I lifted pretty heavy back then. And I think I'm paying for that in my old age, some of the lifting stuff. When you're young, you get away with that, but I was lifting way too heavy at the time.
Especially your knees and stuff, elbows.
Yeah, but I was really big, and I trained MMA for a while, and I'm friends with a lot of wrestlers, a lot of pro wrestlers and stuff, and I was always around. We used to go to shows all the time with our buddies that were wrestlers, and had a lot of good times. And I was good friends with, and still am, with T.S. Aggressor's his name, of course, Midwest professional wrestling legend, not too far off from One Gauge Octane as well, another pro wrestling legend from around here. But T.S. had a wrestling school, and had a lot of good performers out of that wrestling school. He actually was one of the first people to train Chad Gable, if I'm not mistaken, and he was trained himself by Kurt Hennig and Wayne the Train Bloom. Shout out to them. But I remember going up there one time, and it was about a 2-hour journey to train where they were. And I was buddies with them all. And they always said, God, you got to wrestle. Because I was way bigger than everybody. I was 265 or so, 6'1". You put boots on and stuff, I'd be a big dude. There's no doubt. And I always wanted to. I thought it was great. But unfortunately, and that's one of the stories of my life, is I dial back stuff because where's the money in this? And I would always go with the sure thing. And that's why I didn't get into wrestling. I said, well, I got this job out of school. I probably better focus on this. This pays the bills. I got a car and all that. What's wrestling going to get me? Well, maybe a little bit of paydays here and there, maybe some injuries along the way. So I just said, I'd love to. I know I could do it. And, I took bumps. I did some of that kind of stuff, but I just didn't do it. And I said, man, just to train, I'd have to drive every Saturday for 2 hours back and forth. And then every weekend driving all over the place to all these different shows. I just didn't have the time or the energy. I think it would have been fun, but for whatever reason at the time, I was like, I just don't think I can do this. And I voted with my wallet and said, what's going to really pay me the real money? I knew I had to try to climb the ladder of success or something like that. And wrestling, you never know. There's so many guys on the indie scene that are just great that never go anywhere. Who's to say I could have been just another one of those guys, unfortunately. So it never did happen. I remember, though, being very confused. Like, there's no way I could ever do this with a straight face. I think I'd have to wear a mask. And I remember thinking that at the time, like, guys, I'm going to have to wear a mask because I don't think I can keep a straight face on some of this stuff. I just couldn't. Especially with the audience and stuff, jacking with them, I can only imagine. So I would have loved to do it, but it just wasn't in the cards for me for whatever reason. But my gimmick would have probably been, I don't know, some guy in a mask, I guess. Something like that. You got any ideas?
I picture if we did it together, we'd have to be like heel. Like, there's no way we could be like the nice.
I don't know.
I think I would do better if I had to be like mean about it.
What would your gimmick been? Like a dominatrix or something with like a whip?
Yeah, like I would have just been like telling everybody to shut up and
ooh. Hey, you little kid, you shut up out there. But I don't know what you could have done. But Gage Octane and his wife Vixen, they were a team on the Indies for many years. I was his manager, and she was great and all that kind of thing. She used to come out of roller skates at one time. She was in roller derby.
I don't remember that. She
was in roller derby. For a while too, so she was doing that kind of stuff.
You've reffed before.
Yeah, I've refereed before. They were in a pinch one time and said, well, you're a little big for the referee, but we need somebody. Kyle, will you do it? And I said, sure. And they paid me in 2 hot dogs, if I remember correctly. It was a great time, but I was a referee once upon a time, so that was fun. But besides that, it would have been something that would have been awesome to do, but man, it's just once again in life, sometimes you take the safe passage out of life, and that's what I did. I felt like I took the safe route, and probably best, all things considered, to do that way. But man, it would have been fun. If I could have worked it better, if it wasn't 2 hours away for training and stuff, and if it was local, maybe that would have been more. Anyways, is what it is, was what it was.
My hair could have been a whip.
You could have been like
a young... I feel like I had short blonde hair.
You were shorter blonde hair. You could have been like a young Bianca Belair before Bianca, whipping people with your hair. So who knows? Mm-hmm. But that's it. That's questions of the week. That's Angie's advice. We'll have to look. If you got some advice or some of that in the future, we'll see what happens there. But Angie, what did we learn today? What did we learn today, Angie?
Food.
We learned about top 5 foods, of course.
I love getting connected.
She loves to get connected.
I'm a natural golfer.
A natural golfer.
What about you? Night Demon, all good things.
About good things about Night Demon. We learned all about Angie's advice maybe in the future. We learned about a little wrestling. We learned about dead air.
Floss your teeth.
We learned about dead air. What are we doing? What are we doing? Nobody likes dead air. We learned about that a little bit.
That's like me. I'm literally dead air.
Yeah, dead air. So it's the only place you're dead, though. That's the nice thing. So who knows? That's what we learned this week on episode 27. What do you say we do it again next week, episode 28?
I'll be back.
She'll be back. And of course, you want to reach out to the show, the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com, or hit up the comments in, of course, YouTube. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share the videos, all that kind of stuff. Help it out. Help the podcast, help the channel. Hype the video, as they say these days. A lot of stuff you can do, but appreciate all the support out there. Until next time, Angie, tell everybody goodbye.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?